Have you ever prayed and felt like something was listening? Not God, something else. Tonight, I'll tell you a story about a man who broke a sacred rule and paid the price for it. This is not a warning. This is a confession. My name is Daniel Whitmore. I'm not a priest. I'm not a believer anymore. But I used to be. This happened in St. Hollow's Parish, a small, forgotten church somewhere in rural Eastern Europe. A place so quiet that even prayers echoed back unanswered. Or so I thought. St. Hollow's stood at the edge of the village, abandoned after a fire in the late 90s. No crosses, no bells, just stone and silence. People said the fire was an accident, but the locals never prayed there again. I was a documentary researcher, traveling across Europe, collecting stories about abandoned religious sites. I didn't believe in curses. I believed in history. That mistake still haunts me. An old man named Father Elias Moreau stopped me before I entered. He grabbed my wrist, tight. "If you go inside," he whispered, "never pray aloud." I laughed. What kind of church punishes prayer? He looked terrified. Not all prayers go upward. Inside, the church smelled of ash and mold. I set up my camera. That's when I noticed something strange. The altar was scratched, as if something had been dragged away, fingernails carving desperate lines into stone. Behind it, carved in Latin, were words later translated as, "Do not ask, do not call, it answers." I should have left. Instead, I spoke. It was past 3:17 a.m., the hour when the fire supposedly started. I whispered, "If anyone is here, give me a sign." The air dropped cold. Candles I hadn't lit ignited. And then I heard it. Not a voice, a breath, directly behind my ear. The camera glitched. My recording later showed something impossible. My lips weren't moving. Yet a prayer played back, in my own voice, speaking words I never learned. Latin, ancient, wrong. Father Elias later told me that wasn't prayer, that was permission. That night, something followed me home. Not footsteps, reflections. In mirrors, I was always a second late. In shadows, my head tilted at angles I never made. And every night at 3:17 a.m., my mouth whispered prayers while I slept. I returned to the church. Father Elias was waiting, dead, eyes burned black, his mouth carved into a permanent scream. Behind the altar, I found bones, dozens, priests, villagers. All of them had prayed, written in blood on the wall. God listens in silence. This one answers. I realized the truth. The church wasn't abandoned. It was sealed. I tried to leave. The doors closed. Candles lit themselves. And from the altar, something stood up. Tall, bent, wearing the skin of a priest. It spoke with my voice. "You called me. I escaped. But it never left me. That's why I'm telling you this. Because once you hear this story, it knows you exist. And tonight, at 3:17 a.m., listen carefully. If you hear yourself praying, it's already too late.